Hi there and welcome to CAP2's June edition of the Course Pro feature webinar. Today we're going to be taking you through a brand new feature which is new contact triggers. So to find these you go to the same place as the old contact triggers, so under settings and members, and you can see here we have a new triggers button. Okay, so these won't automatically be enabled for you, and if it's something that you'd like, please contact support@cap2.co.uk. Okay, so clicking on new triggers, you add a trigger in the same way as with the old contact triggers, and at first glance they'll look very much the same as the old contact triggers. So you can put in a name for the contact trigger, and then you get a drop down of the types of trigger that we have. There's all the old types that you had before, plus a couple of new ones, which you can see here after a class has been cancelled. So that's on cancelling a class, and also number of days in advance of a cancelled class as well. Okay, so you select the type that you want. For ones with a variable such as this one and the number of days in advance, you'll have a number of sessions variable, so you can put in there the variable that you want. Okay. And then you have very much the same as the old contact triggers. You can first of all set where it's applicable to, so you could be applicable to everywhere, which is all courses, classes and centres at all levels. But you can also specify the individual course, individual levels if you want to, and also make that at specific centres if you need. And then conversely you can also add a specific centre and make it for individual courses at specific levels if need be as well. Okay, so that's the same as before. Also the same as before is the payment plans, so giving you the ability to specify the contact trigger going to people on a specific payment plan if need be. Okay. Then you've got two new boxes. So the first one is to add a condition. Okay, so this is going to give you a lot more control over exactly who the trigger is going out to, based on various conditions. So, and then you have two options here. First is must meet all of the following conditions, and so for example, you can set up a class with a size of 6, and you can add that condition. And then you could add another condition. So, for example, with a member of that is 5 years old, and add that. And then this contact trigger would then go to anyone that is 5 years old and specifically in a class of 6. So both of those conditions must be met. And if you look a bit further down, it will confirm to you the message will only be sent if all of the following are true, and it will mean that both of these conditions have to be true in order for it to be sent. Okay, so that's the meet all following conditions option. The other one that you have below is the meet any of the following conditions. So you could have, for example, classes of size 6, but also classes of size 7. Okay, and then this message will only be sent out if either of these trigger conditions are met. You can see here it says below at least one of the following must be true in order for the message to be sent. Okay, so those are your conditions, and it gives you a bit more control about where they go to. Next you've got the contact actions, and so this is where you set how the message is going to be sent. So by clicking on new action, you can see here it gives you a default of an email going to the member, and if you click on that it gives you the options to set that action. Okay, so the first thing is the ability in emails for you to add a template. So the new feature within the system is that you can have HTML emails which are branded. And if you click on add a template and select a template which is in the system, this is a demo one that we've got set up, you can see here in the preview that that's the template that we have available. Okay, then you can select the method of delivery. So here you can see you've got email, but a new feature again that we've added is the ability to send these as text messages. Okay, so I'm going to add an email first of all, and then you can select who it's going to be sent to. So another feature again is the ability not just to send it to the member, but to send it to the teacher if you need to. Okay, so you can have specific messages going to teacher and then another one going to the member if you want. Okay. And then you have your message. So the subject, very much as usual, is the ability to put in your email heading. And then you have your body of text, which again you can type into there anything that you want. To speed things up and make things a bit easier for you, you have the ability now to input placeholders at the click of a button. So by clicking on placeholders up here, you get a list of the placeholder groups that we have in the system. Okay, and if you click on one of these, it will give you a list of all of the individual placeholders that you have available to you. Okay, and if you want to add one of them in, all you need to do is click on the one that you want, and there you see it automatically puts that in there for you. So you can use that to build your message. You can also add these placeholders into the subject as well if you need to. Okay, so once you've written your message, you can go down to the bottom here and you can see it gives you a preview of what that message will look like when it's sent to them. And it will give you examples of the of what the placeholder will put in there for you. Okay. You can also view it in a plain text format for those who wouldn't be seeing it on an HTML format if you want to. Okay, so that's the preview box. You can also have a pop-up preview if you want to as well. Okay, so once you're happy with that action, you can click on that to minimize it, and then you can add a new action. Okay, so this is for the same contact trigger, but just a different action that can be given. So for example, this one can go to the member specifically. You can have a template as well. And then you could have a different message to both the email, both the member and the teacher. Okay, and you can write that in the same way. The other option that you also have is to add one, as I mentioned, for the SMS. So you can have multiple actions, all for the same contact trigger, and this one could be for via SMS. Okay, and through here you still have the option to send it to the member or the teacher. If you want to, and then you can write in another separate message. Obviously there's no HTML branding with that, but there is a text option there. It will give you a count at the bottom telling you whether you've gone over one message or not, so that you can hopefully save your credits over time and make all of your all of your text just one message long. And so you can add that in, and once it's there, save that, and then you can see you've got your 3 actions there and those 3 actions will happen at the point of these conditions and places being met. Okay, so that's the new contact triggers. I hope that's been helpful, and look forward to seeing you again at future webinars. Thank you.